before that, he walked to midcourt after the game and stomped on the Celtics logo. This fired up former Celtics, including Glenn Big Baby Davis, who I guess is acting his nickname, who appeared to threaten Kyrie, posting, quote, "Keep that bleep basketball before somebody gets hurt in real life." Now, Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett posted, quote, "So nobody's going to say anything about how Kyrie's stomping on Lucky, the logo. We're just going to act like we didn't see that. What the bleep is going on? You can't do that. That's not cool on no level. All of us need to be better. I'm just saying." So, Marcellus, is Kyrie taking too much heat for the logo stomp?
Yeah, if he is taking heat, I don't know what temperature that is, room temperature. I mean, this ain't nothing. First of all, I hate to be the guy that laughs at you when you want to beef over something, but I'm laughing at you. And don't you take no shots at Big Baby. Big Baby, my homeboy / former neighbor. But yeah, Big Baby, calm down. And whoever else is on this is ambassador talk. See, us former athletes who still ain't good with the organizations and got our brands associated with these teams will go out there and say things like this. And I want y'all to know that in reality, this ain't about nothing. This is laughable. It's not even a real thing. All y'all out there who's trying to get into these codes. Look, Acho, put me and Acho on the screen right now so I can disrespect him and see what he do. What's this you said?
That's the hook 'em sign, but flip it.
Flip it?
Yeah, there it is.
That's it? What's that mean? I dare you to do something. I just stomped on your Lucky. You ain't gonna do nothing, because I'm from the land where they really banged, homie, and I thought that was silly. But that was life or death. So, you know what? When I see this, silly, but not life or death, I have no respect for it. So stop. They tipped the ball off on Lucky's head. They do a lot on Lucky. And now you're gonna get mad at the end of the game because he stepped on him one more time? Get real. I'm sorry.
I co-sign that. I mean, is it disrespectful to those who used to be a part of the organization? Yes. Kind of like putting the horns down is disrespectful if you went to Texas.
You okay? We still friends?
But at the end of the day, like, stop. It's a logo. It's a logo. Logo ain't got no heartbeat. And my coach always told me, don't let anything without a heartbeat beat you. So, yeah, Kyrie stepped on a logo, but to your point, I would love to see how many times do people step on that logo throughout the course of the game. Now, was Kyrie's intentionally disrespectful? Maybe. But we're not going to act like Kyrie didn't contribute more than the majority of people who have an opinion to the Boston Celtics.
Ooh.
Let's be real now. So when I look at it, to me, again, I co-sign what you're saying. It's shenanigans. Is Kyrie taking too much heat for this, if you want to call it heat?
What's this?
That's the Florida chomp, I think.
Get out of here. I'll bite your gator, too.
Coming up, should Patrick Mahomes be scared of Aaron?
It's very difficult for me to represent a white player. It just is. Look around. There's very few. Paul was asked if white players who are American don't want a black agent and went on to say, quote, "They'll never say that, but they don't. I think there's always going to be that cloud over America." So, Acho, what's your reaction to what Rich Paul said?
Man, again, you've taught me this. I live by this. Your experience is your expertise. So my reaction is I'm never going to discredit somebody's experience because it is their expertise. I also care so much about the words we choose and our word choice. I think every word in society matters, and that's why we get into such volatile disagreements, because people choose the wrong words at the wrong times. I don't love that he said white players don't want a black agent, because you really don't know unless you ask a white player, hey, do you want a black agent? And they say no. Well, now you know they don't want a black agent. So just because white players don't have black agents does not mean white players do not want black agents. Stel, in preparation for this conversation, I asked my producer, I said, hey, big dog.
Your white one or your black one?
My white one. I asked my producer, I said, hey, big dog, I said, throw out a random country in Asia, right? And he said, Laos. I said, oh, okay, bet. I said, I've never been to Laos. And it's not that I don't want to go to Laos. I'm just not necessarily familiar with, at the forefront of my mind, that country, right? I want to go to Thailand. I want to go back to Hong Kong. I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to so many other places, more so than I want to go to Laos. It's not that I don't want to go to Laos. I just wasn't really thinking of it. And so when you talk about why don't white players have black agents, I can't instantly jump to, well, they don't want to have black agents, because I don't know. But I will say that maybe it's not at the forefront of their mind or the forefront of their attention. So now you have to try to dissect the why. And the why, I'll get to on my next lap.
Interesting. I like that. I like that whole agent example, because Since you haven't been there, since you don't participate in it, doesn't mean you have disdain for it, right? Oh, man. Okay, you said choose your words carefully, right? Well, let me choose mine carefully. I hate that he said this for many reasons. I thought it was ignorant. Let me just say it for real. And I've seen Rich Paul, and we've received awards together, et cetera, talking to him before. I don't think he's ignorant. I think this statement is ignorant. One, you're never talking absolutes. You said it. You have to ask a white player. But let's take it further. You have to ask all white players to make the statement he made, which is white players don't want a black agent, but they won't say it. So why will we even get into a conversation of asking them if you're not going to believe what they say? I don't understand why do people always think they have to talk in absolutes. Just say, I only have one white player. And this is interesting about the NBA. White American player or white European player, because they keep making that distinction. So he does have one white player, Nurkic, but he's European. So is that white American-born Gordon Hayward, or is it Euro? Anyway, let's talk about this. I know for a fact that there's some black agents, want to see my group chat? Some facts that some black agents are saying none of us should speak for all of us. So why would a black agent want to now make that distinction, that line of demarcation between his transactions with black players and white players? Here's why I know I didn't like this. This is when it hit me. Because sometimes things land well in your heart, but not in your mind. I know when I was growing up in the hood, stuff would land. It felt like, I lived 15 minutes from Beverly Hills. It felt 15 light years away in terms of experience, right? But it's right there, you know, make a left, make a right, and you're right there on Wilshire, right? But I never did it in my entire upbringing. But let me tell you why I didn't like this. Because when I see this and I hear this, this lands well with a certain population. It's pandering. It lands well. It's like, yeah, but the brothers looking out for me, but the white players, man, they ain't feeling me. They ain't tripping on me. And I say, well, my coach used to always say, when you're calling somebody out, names and numbers. Because, Rich Paul, you have LeBron James. What white players are you talking about? In terms of, like, first of all, the cream rises to the top. You got LeBron. You're going to only get the top players, correct? Of all the players, the top 50 that make money in salary, who are you talking about? Kevin Love? Porzingis, Euro, Jokic, Gordon Hayward, or Gallinari? The other 45 are black players. I mean, so first of all, what agent starts at the bottom works their way up? Second of all, you're starting at the top working your way down. There's only 5 players even in potential of names and numbers he can even be talking about. Have you had those guys on record and asked them why they didn't go with you? So on my next lap, let's talk about the hows and whys. But right now, just as a surface statement, it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree with you on the fact that you can't speak in absolutes. But now it's a matter of the whys. We know the what. The what is he says that white players don't want black agents. I disagree with the term of want because you don't know what they want and maybe a lack of exposed to.
Yeah.
From my own experience, when you select an agent, you look at their track record.
Yes.
Right? You look at the elongation of their track record. How long have they been dominant? I know that this is not just a basketball sentiment from black agents because we've seen the same sentiment from black agents in football as well. David Mulugeta, friend of the show, friend of you and I, he came out and he said that, and y'all throw the tweet up there, I, along with every other black NFL agent, only represent black players. Unlike our white counterparts, we don't have the luxury of representing the entire NFL pool of athletes. If it wasn't for black players, we wouldn't have the opportunities to be agents. Several other people co-signed following that. So I'm like, wait a second. This is actually going on amongst other black agents. So what is the why? When I came out and was picking an agent my junior year, David, who is right now the most dominant black agent in football, he was, I think, still in law school or only had Jamal Charles and Earl Thomas. David graduated from Texas undergrad, graduated from Nebraska Law School. He only had Jamal Charles and Earl Thomas. So when I'm looking at a track record, I'm like, oh, big dog, you haven't done anything yet as far as you got Jamal, you got Earl, but they hadn't gotten those huge deals, which David went on to negotiate. David now Forbes' top agent in the game. So I'm looking at a track record, Sel, and realistically, the first white agent in football, 1925. First black agent in football, 1969. You're talking about a 44-year gap as far as agency. So the track record that black agents even are allowed to have just based on the existence of black people being agents is a much shorter runway. Shout out to David Mulugeta. Shout out to Nicole Lynn. But I think the why is when the gatekeepers of agencies, because it's not the 19 and 20-year-old kids, by the way, for the most part. It's your coach, your mentor, your parent, along with your input. But the gatekeepers of who is going to audition you to be your agent, I think they're looking like, well, when we look at Elise Steinberg, who had Troy Aikman,
that's my former agent,
Tony Romo, who had Bruce Smith, and thus had Marcellus Wiley, that track record is much longer just based off what has been allowable in this country than the track record of black agents. So for me, I examine the why, and that is the why I stumble upon.
Interesting. All right, let's go to the why that I stumble upon, because before we get into fully all of this, oh, man.